The Beaufort scale, officially known as the Beaufort wind force scale, is a descriptive table. It depicts the force of wind by a series of numbers from 0 to 12. Actually, the Beaufort scale goes all the way to 17, but the last 5 numbers only apply to tropical typhoons. These numbers are only used in the areas around China and Taiwan. The scale is named for Sir Francis Beaufort of the British Royal Navy. In 1805, he devised a method of describing wind force according to procedures for setting sails on a warship. The Beaufort scale is useful for estimating wind power without wind instruments. Beaufort scale, in full Beaufort wind force scale, scale devised in 1805 by Commander, later Admiral and Knight Commander of the Bath Francis Beaufort of the British Navy for observing and classifying wind force at sea. Originally based on the effect of the wind on a full-rigged man of war, in 1838 it became mandatory for log entries in all ships in the Royal Navy. Altered to include observations of the state of the sea and phenomena on land as criteria, it was adopted in 1874 by the International Meteorological Committee for international use in weather telegraphy. The Beaufort scale as originally drawn up was calibrated to Beaufort's assessment of the various effects of the wind on a full-rigged man of war. Somewhat arbitrarily, he identified 13 states of wind force on his vessel and ranked them 0 to 12. The scale, however, made no reference to the speed of the wind, and various attempts, particularly during the 20th century, have been made to correlate the two. An attempt made in 1912 by the International Commission for Weather Telegraphers was interrupted by World War I. In 1921 G.C. Simpson was asked to formulate equivalents, which were accepted in 1926 by the committee. In June 1939 the International Meteorological Committee adopted a table of values referring to an anemometer at a height of 6 meters 20 feet. This was not immediately adopted by the official weather services of the United States and Great Britain, which used the earlier scale referring to an anemometer at an elevation of 11 meters 36 feet. The Beaufort force numbers 13 to 17 were added by the U.S. Weather Bureau in 1955.